Bonjour. Right, last week it was all about the main two, wasn't it? DC and Marvel. Going to restore some balance to this week's books, and it was a bumper week. It was one of those weeks I really love. There's probably about a dozen, maybe more books this week. Excellent. Not all of them, you know, going to be earth-shattering Olympic gold, but let's go through the 6 choices I've made. Olympic gold. Issue 1, this Last Barbarians, Brian Haberlin, and if anyone remembers that name, Brian Haberlin, and I've got to admit I did, co-creator of Witchblade back in the day, a big innovator of computer-generated artwork, more along the colour as well, but did a lot of that stuff back with Image back in the day. That's just a nice read, almost old-fashioned in its approach in a way, but no worse for it. And talking about old-fashioned, look, I'm getting to really, I've got a soft spot. No, a soft spot. We don't go there. I'm getting a really soft spot for these Zenoscope titles, and I'll tell you why. I mean, look at this, 72 pages of content. So if you do like this character, and this is the first book I've ever picked up of this character, right? And I'm straight in, and I'm loving it, and there's plenty of story to go around it. And obviously, I know it's an expensive book at $8.99, but they've got that cheesecake, can I say? I know that's a really old-fashioned word. I know they've got that cheesecake approach to the covers and their characters, but there is something really endearing about the story. It's not crap inside. I do recommend these Zenoscope stories because they are well told. They're a romp. They're not, like I say, none of this is going to win any awards, but no, it's just entertaining and it's fun. And I've really been enjoying them. Really been enjoying them. Now this book continues to impress. Obviously, Alex Ross covers on them. I never thought they would get back to what this book is doing. Is getting back to how the Fantastic Four used to be. This is one of the best FFs I've read, maybe since John Byrne's run, and that was a long while ago, and that is high praise indeed. And this is just as good, this book. The writing and the artwork on it, Ryan North is on the writing, and Iban Coelho on the art, and Jesus Abatoff on the colours. They're creating a nice book there with the feel of the old-fashioned, you know, the Lee and Kirby FF, and I'll show you why. I'll show you why when we do the deep dive. Last issue of Batman Beyond. But obviously they've done it, and you know how much by now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know how much I love Sean Murphy's artwork. Cracking. I missed the little black and white bit at the back of this. They've only done one page because it's a bit of a advert for the up and coming story, which we'll have a look at as well when we go through that. Finally, this has turned up. And obviously it wasn't delayed for any other. Well, it was delayed because of personal reasons from one of the creators. So that, you know, fair enough. But oh yes, great. Again, great story, great art. That's what I want to see the Black Label doing. It's what I want to see the Black Label doing. And it's not all about blood and gore or putting the odd swear word in there, is it? It's about, you know, telling those more adult storylines. And book of the week is this little beauty, Hexware. This is a great. It's issue 3. I didn't do issue 1 because I couldn't get hold of issue 1. I've got issue 2, issue 3, and that was only a week or so ago. issue 3 was out this week, so I'm going to go through this and explain what's going on. It's just a great cyberpunk mystical mashup. Obviously, as you can tell from Hexware, actually, and you look at the cover on issue 2, it's probably more indicative or more illustrative of what I'm trying to get at. Just great stuff, and it's what, you know, it's what we get the indies for. Anyway, that's the 6 I'm going to go through. There's going to be a few others. Let's go through at the end, some covers, choose cover of the week, and I'll meet you after the scroll. So, Last Barbarians, Brian Haberlin, back in the day, was the co-creator of Witchblade. So it took me a while for the penny to sink in, but he was heavily into computer generated stuff and particularly colouring. And back in the Image days and Witchblade, back in the 90s, this is a great fantasy story a la Dungeons and Dragons, about guilds and stuff, and barbarians are those that don't belong to any one particular guild. I mean, this isn't a perfect example of what I'm talking about with the computer generated stuff. It's no lesser for it, you know, because this don't look like computer generated stuff, but that does. But like I say, it has its impact, and I really enjoyed this book. And yeah, so Silver, our main character, she's not a member of any guild. That makes you a barbarian. And it's her kind of mishaps and adventures in this first issue, just setting the stage for her and her brother, who's a bit of a dim-witted hulk of a fellow, but pleasant enough. That's a lovely scene. Got the landlord here. You know, you've got all the typical. It's, you know, some of the dialogue when it comes is very modern day, but I'm just liking the feel of it. I'm just liking the feel of the book and the good storytelling, and it doesn't shy away from, you know, her having a crush on this bloke here. Look, but oh no, you know, now I really need a drink. So I don't mind it. I don't mind that like this kind of mashup of like modern day stuff in the fantasy setting, which is becoming, let's face it, it's becoming very, very popular now in the comics world. I've noticed in the independent comics scene has got a lot of fantasy books going on, a lot of fantasy books. But this is looking for an issue 1. I was really pleased, very intrigued. Here's a new character right at the end, and off we go. So I did enjoy that. And like I say, I think that it's a great cover that caught my eye straight away. That's more to, it might be done on a computer, I don't know, but that is what it's got, a traditional painted art feel, almost like an oil painting feel, but I assume that is just another, that can be another app that you can just put oil painting feel to it. So, from the sublime to the ridiculous. Again, another cover that caught my eye. I don't know why. Lol. But like I said in the intro, these books, these Zenescope books, Cinderella in these books is more of a serial killer kind of character, more of and there's a book called Quested as well that I've mentioned recently. And like nice artwork style, but this is, like I mentioned previously for Quested, it's I Hate Fairyland. So she's a murderous character on her way through all these fantasy tropes. So, and we've got the Mushroom Men here as well, which they did do in I Hate Fairyland, but they've made it their own. They've made it their own. That's what I will say. It was a nice art job, the character had some funny moments. I mean, they didn't do eating the mushrooms as much in I Hate Fairyland. They didn't do, you know, that's where the similarities end. But, you know, for overarching feel of this book, and again, the dialogue, very, very modern day. So I kind of don't know whether she's come from the modern era or whether it was when Cinderella was first written in the Victorian era. That much I don't know, because this is the only book I've kind of got a reference for. But nevertheless, it was very, very enjoyable, this. And it is all just the hijinks. This is all the hijinks of the different characters she meets. Look, she's not having none of it. You know, just that prickly anti-hero character. Now we're getting a bit of a backstory to the Dark Forest, you know, and the bad guys, you know, so you're getting a feel for it. But 72 pages, and this, it was proper, I think, proper bang for your buck. I think proper bang for your buck. And if you are familiar with I Hate Fairyland, a lot of this is going to look familiar. Probably not this bit. But that's the cheese, what I call the cheesecake element to it, and it is the cheesecake element to it. But they're kind of giving the audience a nod and a wink with this the cheesecake approach to the attire of the main character. But it isn't just that and nothing else. It isn't just an excuse for the heroine of the story to fall down and be, you know, bending over and, oh my God, look at me, you know, I'm in a uncompromising position again. They don't do that. They don't do that, and I do find that great. I mean, apart from that bit. That was good timing. That was good timing. Anyway, back on track. Nice art style that suits the storyline, that is just a bit of fluff. And, you know, there's a couple of different artists in it, and so now we're going into a different scenario. So they've changed the art style, which I do like. I do enjoy that. And again, this is a very nice art style. You know, it just suits. It really does suit what they're doing, which is a satire. It's mocking the fantasy genre. You know, this is good stuff. It's good stuff. Anyway, that's a great book. I mean, I won't go through all 72 pages. It will take ages. I recommend that if you like some, you know, just a little bit of fun, just a little bit amongst, you know, maybe more serious stuff, then yeah, that's a good book. Good book. And a decent cover as well. Again, it caught my eye. I don't know why. So, serious stuff. I mentioned serious stuff. Now this is serious. Fantastic Four. When I say serious, you know, it goes back to the origins of Marvel Comics. So it's bound to be serious, but a gorgeous Alex Ross cover, which, you know, when Alex Ross is on it, it evokes, you can't tell me this does not evoke the 1960s feel of the early covers. That's what they're going for. How he's portraying all our main characters and the monsters from the Negative Zone. And that's what this story is, the Negative Zone. It begins with the Negative Zone. This issue is going back to when the previous 3 issues of this book mention about a catastrophe that affects the Baxter Building in New York. This is explaining why. And basically, and it's all nicely done. And stuff like this, you know, there's a bit in it where he goes, oh, this is it. Funny how these idiots always invade Earth when it's clobbering time. It goes right back to the origins, and I'm loving it. And if new readers aren't picking up on stuff like that, then in and of itself, you're building up the character of the Thing, of Ben Grimm. So it's all good. It's all good. It works on so many levels. Then we're coming back to a bit more present day and the dilemma. And basically, Reed Richards has had to do something because of this invasion from the Negative Zone. He's had to do something he didn't want to do, and this is it. This is it. I didn't know. He had to make a call a split-second decision that means that for a whole 12 months there is a big section of New York, there's a block of New York around the back, including the Baxter building, that's been sent into a time loop, and they will appear in a year's time. He sent the negative zone denizens on a 6-month journey, so they appear back in space, but that involves a lot of families, a lot of children, and it involves everyone's nearest and dearest. So obviously Alicia ain't happy, Ben Grimm ain't happy, and they explain how, you know, like Reed had to do it. He had to do it, and that's why the previous 3 issues they've been apart, they've been split apart. I love the way they've done. They're exploring more of the Mr. Fantastic, what he could possibly do with his, you know, even like doing stuff with his eyeball, you know, getting microscopic, or, you know, expanding the lens. I thought that was really interesting, and they really do cut to the heart of what used to make Fantastic Four work, was that it was a family. And I know that's an overdone cliche now, you know, it's all about that, it's all about this, all about the other, but Fantastic Four, it really was. And this is that's a powerful double page, because you don't often see, and they do allude to it, the fact that you don't often see or even hear his voice. Like Alicia would never hear his voice, it would always be the same monotone, like singular level. But so obviously Alicia, being blind, is ranting at Reed Richards because of the kids. And then you look at Ben, who can see the change while his wife is still ranting. You know, it's written all over his face. He's hurting too, because he's, you know, Franklin is gone as well. And I thought this was just a powerful scene, because through the whole issue, like Alicia and the whole reason, you know, they kind of split up, like disbanded in a way. You know, Reed has kind of done something that he you know, that call that he made. This is just really nice done. Just great. It's a nice story. There's plenty of action. They put, you know, negative zone invasion up the front there to kind of bring you in, to drag you into the story. And then look, did you get much of a chance to chat with my dear old Aunt Petunia? As the last panel, now me as a geeky old hog, knowing the entire history of the Fantastic Four, having read it from day one, that resonates with me. I don't know about new readers, but I'm hoping that new readers thinking, what? And a strange thing happened on the way to Petunia's is the next issue. So if you're any kind of Fantastic Four fan on any kind of level, I'm hoping you're going to enjoy that as much as I am. All 4 issues. That's a great one. And over to the other mainstay, over to DC for Batman Beyond. This is the last issue, book 8. Sean Murphy has really, for me, done a superb job, and a superb 8-issue job of making Batman Beyond cool, of taking it from here's Bruce, and making it like cool, kind of bringing it out of, or taking it beyond. See what I did there? Taking it beyond the Batman animated adventures, which was where, you know, the Batman Beyond first started, and all the characters and associated characters, the Bat family, for want of a better word. This has been a really great story arc, and this will be a fantastic graphic novel. These 8 issues of Here's Bruce. I've just noticed where his hand is on old Bab's bottom. You know, I don't know DC. I don't know what's going on at DC, but my God, what are they going to say about that? And you know, anyway, we don't go there. But anyway, this has been good. This has been good. And I've done Bruce, and you know, these are the bat rogue bat bots, whatever they're called, attacking. You know, in the last issue, it's all kicking off, it's all coming to a crescendo. But here we go, Batman's returned, and got all his tricks up his sleeve or on his belt, whatever way around you want to do it. Look, nice. Nice. It's just been a good romp. Good romp. Here's the bad guy, and you know, we've got the resolution. But Batman, you know, the Batman Beyond does it. I love that. I love that. The fact they've done it in the old style logo. But just made him look cool. Well, I think so anyway. Just made him look cool. And bringing in, this is the Joker's daughter. The Joker is a hologram in this, which they played a good effect. You know, more action. Here we get the Brad Batter and the, you know, laser wassets and everything. Nice resolution to the story. I'll flick over a couple of pages just in case. But look how nice his artwork is in black and white. Look how nice it is in black and white. But that's the only page. Now it's promoting the next book, Generation Joker. Probably give it away, the last page, which I intended not to, but never mind, spoiler alert. And you could call this a kind of updating to modernisation of it, but please believe me, they've done a really nice job of it. They've done a really nice job, like almost like an Elseworlds kind of thing. But Generation Joker, I've got to admit, if it's half as good as this book, that's going to be really nice. Yes, it's going to be modern. Yes, it's going to be set in the future. Yes, and you know, again, look how nice his artwork looks in black and white. Absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. And talking of superb, it's been a long wait, but it's been worth it. It's been worth it. Jeff Lemire, you know, I've admired his work on 10,000 Black Feathers and Little Monsters for Image. But look at, you know, and Doug Mank on the artwork, and Constantine turned up, and he's brought the Swamp Thing out of his idyllic existence with his wife and daughter to come and help save the world, even though the world has destroyed the Green. You know, he's trying to convince Swamp Thing to come and save humanity, but he's got to do it because Constantine, if he kills Constantine, well, there's no way of getting back to his wife and daughter. So he's done the dirty on him. Excuse me. Done the dirty on him. This is very, very nicely done. And the one thing that brings humanity out, you know, the fight with the monster, the green, red, and or the three parliaments, whatever one is, green, red, and blue, maybe. The parliaments have decided, you know, the monster from the first issue. Look at this. This is lovely. Great. This is lovely stuff. And it's the girl that kind of brings him. It's only down to her, really, the girl from the first issue, that resonates with Swamp Thing, because it takes him back to his wife and kid, and yeah, makes him want to. Not that he's got a lot of choice, but he could just walk away and think, oh well. And this is all like plenty. There's plenty of action. This really does like march along story wise. Loving the storytelling format of what Doug Mank has done here. It's properly going on. Every page is full. Really enjoyed it. You know, you will only get a blank space when he wants it to. Like there. Almost like to make the lettering to punctuate it, which is nice. Give the word balloon a blank space and it will resonate. You know, all nice tricks. Look at this. This is beautiful stuff. Of the hordes massing for the third, you know, ready for the third issue and finale. It reminds me a little bit of Liam Sharp, a little bit somehow. You know, that might have been better at a better angle to show like the masses, the hordes kind of going off into infinity. But that, I mean, that's, you know, don't get me wrong, I couldn't do that. Great colouring job as well. And Dead Man. Now Constantine's after Dead Man, so you know, another good character to bring in, an underused character, but it's Black Label, so why not? Why not? If you're going to do it, do it. You've got Swamp Thing facing off against the hordes, and he's had his powers in this book, in this issue. He's had his powers revoked from him, so he can't keep it eternally regenerating. You know, this is it for him now. If he goes, he goes. So that was well worth the wait. Book 2 of that. And then book of the week. Hexware, a cyberpunk in the first issue. So this is the story of basically an android maid that turns to magic to help out the couple. This couple lose their daughter to a murder, and the maid turns to magic. This is her. She's an android maid, and she turns to magic to find out who the killers are, and etc. But set in this cyberpunk, and there's kind of anime overtones to it as well. Look at it like that. You know, these anime overtones. Now I know, you know, obviously I'm a kid. I must like this style of stuff because I know that Sean Murphy in the Batman Beyond stuff has done it, as I've previously mentioned in other reviews. But it's a really cool idea. It's a really cool idea and a really cool image. I mean, if this book ever gets any traction, I can imagine there's a few cosplayers that are going to find this a very nice idea to do. Hexware, and you know, these are all the people she's trying to do deals with, and you know, don't quite go right. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. It was the cover. It was the covers that have kind of sucked me in. This is another one of the characters. I won't give too much away, but she comes across and is part of the wider story. But this is lovely stuff. I think this is beautiful stuff. And Tim Seeley, who wrote these, who's writing this, previously did Nightwing and Superman vs Lobo for DC and that, so he knows what he's doing. I don't know if I've seen the artist's work, and I will have to check his name, Scotto Lavina. I don't. Well, no, I would know if I've seen his artwork, but I can't imagine this is his debut work. You know, this is just nice. It's nice, cool. This is nice, cool, modern stuff, I think, anyway. Oh, Zulema Scotto Lavina on the art. Yeah, just so anyway, really enjoyed that. That is my book of the week. That is my book of the week. There was the cover that I showed earlier as well. Lovely art style, almost like All Against All covers as well, an artwork that looks a bit 3D. When you look at it, it all kind of blurs into one. But as for covers of the week, I did go for The Last Barbarians, but a close second has got to be I Hate Fairyland with the pixels. And just quickly, I will show you inside, because Brett Bean is doing such a fantastic job on the art. He really is. But this really did make me laugh with the pixelated stuff. They could have done anything, including you know, a back shot or just not that with pixels. You know, stuff like this. Look, very cheeky. Anyway, I've done enough Fairyland over the months. So yeah, as far as covers go, I think it's between these two. Maybe this to attract people's attention, because I know they use this image. I think they use this image to advertise the entire run. But what is going to draw your eye to a comic book on the shelves? I still think it's this. I still think that's a beautifully classic illustration, and obviously, just from my own mate Paul, who loves this stuff, who's an Elvira fan from way back when, that's going to catch your eye. So is that. So is that. You know, if you're not reading I Hate Fairyland, I know I mention it quite a lot because, you know, a few of these books are going into that realm, but I will just leave it on that as the cover of the week, and from there I will say adios.